Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever looked at your bank account and felt that deep knot in your stomach, the one that whispers, something's not working? Maybe you've read the books, watched the videos, followed the motivational quotes, but your financial life still feels like a puzzle missing all the important pieces. You make some money, you lose some, you try harder, you hustle more, but for some reason your life doesn't change, and it hurts. It's not just about money, it's about what money represents. Freedom, options, confidence, the ability to breathe without fear at the end of the month, the power to say yes to your dreams and no to anything that wastes your time. But here's what no one told you. Your problem is not motivation. Your problem is not strategy. Your problem is habits. In fact, if I had to summarize my entire career decades of working with millionaires, entrepreneurs, executives, and everyday people, it would come down to this one truth. Your income is a direct reflection of your habits, not your intentions, not your goals, not your education, your habits. Because money doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your patterns. And right now you might be stuck in patterns that are quietly bleeding your potential. Let me say it clearly, you are not broken. You are misaligned. And today we're going to fix that. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to build habits so powerful, so automatic, that they literally print money over time. Not in a gimmicky way, not in some fake overnight success fantasy, but in a sustainable, predictable, repeatable system. We'll break down the invisible habits that are keeping you broke and how to destroy them, the millionaire behaviors that no one sees but that make all the difference, how to replace draining routines with money-generating rituals, the psychological shift that will make wealth feel inevitable, not optional. And I'm not sharing theory. I'm sharing experience mine and the thousands of clients I've worked with, from struggling single parents to Fortune 500 CEOs. But first, I need to tell you something uncomfortable, something no one likes to hear. The reason most people stay broke is because they keep trying to get rich with poor people's habits. They wait for a raise instead of raising their standards. They chase the next shiny opportunity instead of mastering the basics. They treat time like it's free and wonder why money never stays. I'm here to help you stop that cycle. Because once you change your habits, you don't just change your income, you change your identity. And this is important. Rich people don't just have more money. They have different rituals, different thinking, different rules of behavior. Quiet, disciplined actions repeated so many times that wealth becomes the natural result. You don't need to work harder. You need to work smarter, more consistently, and more intentionally. So if you've ever felt like success is close but keeps slipping through your fingers, stay with me. Because the shift we're about to make could turn your next year into your breakthrough year. This is the roadmap I wish someone had handed me at 21. And I'm giving it to you now, without fluff, without hype, just the truth. And if you commit not for a week, not for a weekend, but truly commit, this video will be the moment everything changed. Let's begin. Years ago, I was broke, not just financially. I was mentally poor. I was working long hours, taking whatever job I could find, laboring, sweating, exhausted just to cover the basics. I was sleeping on the floor, sometimes skipping meals, always thinking that if I could just get one lucky break, maybe things would turn around. But the break never came. What finally came was a decision, a moment I'll never forget. I was sitting alone, angry at the world. I blamed the government, the economy, my parents, my luck, until I got tired of hearing my own excuses. That night I picked up a notebook and wrote one sentence across the top of the page. If I want something different, I have to become someone different. It wasn't poetic, it wasn't profound, but it was honest. And that was the night I began designing a new life. I stopped waiting to feel motivated. I started building structure. I stopped chasing shortcuts. I studied principles. I stopped acting like a victim. I started acting like a producer. That's when I discovered something most people never learn. Wealth doesn't begin with money. It begins with mastery of yourself. You don't need to be born into wealth. You need to build the rituals that wealth responds to. Because here's the raw truth no one likes to admit. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your systems. And my system was broken. So I began rebuilding hour by hour, habit by habit. Every morning I got up 30 minutes earlier, not because I was excited, but because I was committed. Every dollar I earned, I tracked because the money you respect is the money that grows. Every hour I worked, I asked, is this moving me closer to freedom or deeper into survival? And slowly something strange began to happen. I stopped feeling desperate. I started feeling deliberate. I began noticing patterns, what rich people did differently, what broke people repeated unconsciously. Let me give you a few examples of what I found. Rich people use the first hour of the day to direct their mind. Poor people use it to scroll and react. Rich people automate their money. Poor people wing it. Rich people build habits that remove friction. poor people stay loyal to chaos. And these differences aren't always visible. They're often subtle, almost invisible, but they stack, and over time they separate two lives by miles. I wasn't the smartest. I didn't have connections, but I had one thing. I was willing to become a student of success, not a consumer of inspiration, a student of systems. That shift changed everything. You don't need more motivation. You need more systems that make success automatic. And that's what we're building in this video. Not just ideas, but a framework that rewires your day to serve your vision. Because wealth is not about luck. It's about alignment. It's about having your habits point in the same direction as your goals consistently, predictably, silently. And once I aligned mine, everything changed. Now, I want to show you how to do the same. Most people have been lied to since childhood. They've been told that if they just work hard, they'll succeed. That if they grind long enough, if they suffer enough, if they sacrifice more than everyone else, eventually success will knock at their door. And yet, you know this already, there are millions of people working hard and staying broke. Janitors, delivery drivers, nurses, teachers, construction workers, people pouring their heart and soul into effort every single day and barely surviving. So what's the truth? The truth is this: hard work without smart habits is just glorified exhaustion. Working hard is important, but it's not the foundation of wealth. Systems are, standards are, habits are. Let me show you what I mean. There was a time when I believed the next job, the next project, the next deal would finally make me rich. I was addicted to movement, to urgency, to chasing, but wealth doesn't come to the one who runs fastest. It comes to the one who builds systems that run without them. That's when I realized success is not about how hard you push. It's about how well you're positioned. Let me give you a simple example. Two people wake up at 6 a.m. Person A checks social media, scrolls through messages, then rushes to work already behind. Person B drinks water, reads for 10 minutes, sets clear priorities, and starts the day with control. Same 6 a.m., same world, different future. You don't need to be a genius to build wealth. You need rituals that support your goals instead of sabotage them. Because your future income is already being written by the routines you have right now. This is the biggest lie society sells you, that success is random, that wealth is inherited, that people are just lucky. No. Most of them just learned one thing you haven't been taught yet. Success is scheduled. You want a better body? You schedule your workouts. You want better focus? You schedule distraction-free hours. You want more money? You schedule behavior that produces income. And yes, I mean literally write it down. Because what gets scheduled gets done, and what gets repeated becomes automatic. This is where most people fail. They hope their future improves, but they never hardwire it into their day. They consume information but never commit to implementation. They set goals but never design habits that make those goals inevitable. And that's where the poor mindset traps you. It convinces you that motivation is enough. That discipline is for special people. That structure kills creativity. But in truth, structure is what gives you freedom. When your habits run without you thinking, when your routines align with your goals, when your energy is focused, not scattered, that's when money starts showing up. Not all at once, not overnight, but consistently, because you've built a life that attracts wealth, not chases it. You no longer need to rely on willpower. You've installed behaviors that take care of business for you. And that shift from scattered effort to structured execution is the difference between frustration and freedom. Let me repeat something I've said to every successful person I've coached. Don't chase money. Train habits. The money will chase you. Now that we've shattered this myth of hard work being enough, I'm going to show you the blueprint, the actual step-by-step habits you can build starting today that, over time, will make wealth automatic. Are you ready? Now that we've exposed the myth of hard work and revealed the truth about wealth, being habit-driven, I want to get extremely practical with you. If you're serious about building a life where money flows with consistency, not chaos, then there are 5 habits I've taught to entrepreneurs, executives, and everyday people that radically transform their financial results. These habits aren't flashy, they're not sexy, but they're powerful because they move you from random effort to predictable outcome. And once they become part of your routine, they print money not by magic, but by method. Let's break them down. Habit 1, income mapping. Every morning. Every morning before you touch your phone or answer a single message, you ask yourself one question. What is the highest value activity I can do today that directly leads to income? That's called income mapping. Most people spend their mornings reacting. Successful people design their day around revenue-generating priorities. Maybe for you it's closing a deal, following up with leads, creating content, improving a skill. Whatever it is, you identify it first. You write it down. You schedule it, and you don't touch anything else until it's done. This one habit alone can change your income in 30 days. Habit 2, the 1-hour wealth window. This is a non-negotiable. Every day you dedicate one focused hour to wealth building, not maintenance, not distractions, not errands. Just building. That hour could be used to develop a side business, write a sales letter, record a video, study investing, build systems, or refine your craft. You protect this hour like your future depends on it because it does. This is your wealth window. And when used consistently, it turns scattered potential into tangible results. Habit 3, daily money tracking. What gets measured gets improved. Every day, track what you earned, what you spent, and what you kept. Most people are terrified to look at their finances. That's why they stay broke. Wealthy people face their numbers. They don't hide from them. Why? Because money is data. It tells you what's working and what needs fixing. This habit creates awareness. Awareness creates control. Control creates freedom. Habit 4, eliminate one financial leak. Per week, every week, identify one financial behavior that is leaking your time or money and eliminate it. It might be a useless subscription, a wasted hour on gossip, a meeting that produces nothing, a habit that drains your energy. When you stop tolerating small leaks, you preserve massive momentum. You don't need to earn more if you stop losing what you already earn. This weekly habit rewires your identity from someone who reacts to someone who refines. Habit 5, automatic wealth triggers. Set up systems that take emotion out of your financial life. Automate your savings. Automate your investments. Automate your bill payments. Create a rule. 10% of every dollar earned goes to long-term wealth. No exceptions. Why? Because discipline is powerful, but automation is stronger. When money moves without your involvement, you eliminate self-sabotage. You stop making emotional decisions. You start building real wealth on autopilot. These 5 habits are your money machine. They are simple, but they are sacred. And the reason most people never implement them is because they think their life is too complicated. But complication is the enemy of execution. You don't need 100 habits. You need 5 that you do like your life depends on it, because it does. Every millionaire I've worked with has some version of these rituals embedded into their day. They don't chase money, they engineer it. So here's your challenge. Pick one of these habits. Start today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not when things slow down, now. Because the difference between someone who dreams of success and someone who lives it is this: they act before they feel ready. Don't aim for perfect, aim for consistent. In the next block, I'll show you exactly how to anchor these habits so deeply into your identity that skipping them feels strange. This is where discipline becomes instinct. This is where wealth becomes natural. Are you with me? Let's get one thing clear. You don't get rich by doing rich people tasks. You get rich by becoming the kind of person who doesn't skip the habits that create wealth. This is where most people fail. They read the books, they watch the videos, they nod their heads. But when real life gets busy, they break. They fall back into their old identity, the one built on survival, not success. Let me say something that might sting. If you don't change who you are on the inside, nothing you do on the outside will last. Your habits must become who you are, not just what you do. You don't build financial freedom by forcing yourself to act rich. You build it by becoming someone for whom wealth-producing behavior is normal. Think about it. A lion doesn't wake up and try to be a lion. It just is. A millionaire doesn't wake up and try to be strategic. They've trained themselves to operate that way automatically. So how do you do that? You ritualize the identity of someone who earns, saves, invests, and grows every single day. Here's how. Step 1, rehearse your identity in the morning. Every morning you look in the mirror and ask, what does the wealthy version of me do today? That version doesn't scroll aimlessly. That version plans. That version doesn't skip workouts. That version honors energy. That version doesn't spend blindly. That version chooses intentionally. You don't fake it. You rehearse it until it becomes real. Your body doesn't know the difference between who you are now and who you're practicing to become. If you rehearse long enough, it believes you. Step 2, build micro-proof. You don't need to become a different person overnight. You just need to create evidence-tiny proof points that you are changing. You drank water before coffee? That's micro-proof. You said no to a distraction? Micro-proof. You saved 10 instead of spending it? Micro-proof. Stack enough proof and your brain updates your identity automatically. It says, oh, I guess this is who we are now. And that's when real change begins. Not when you decide, but when your mind believes. Step 3, create triggers that reinforce discipline. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. But here's the trick. You can design systems that remind you to act like your future self. Put a sticky note on your laptop. Would the wealthy version of me do this? Set an alarm titled, Build, Don't React. Create a calendar invite that says Money Hour, non-negotiable. These tiny nudges retrain your brain. They turn discipline into a default. Step 4, make quitting uncomfortable. The reason most people quit is because quitting feels normal. You need to flip that. Tell a friend your new habit. Post about it. Put money on the line. Create stakes. When your old behavior becomes more uncomfortable than your new one, change sticks. You want to know why most people fail? Because their dreams are optional. Until success becomes your standard, you'll keep returning to struggle. So raise your standard. Don't be someone who tries new habits. Be someone who executes like their future depends on it, because it does. You are not here to survive. You are here to design. You are not stuck. You are untrained. And training starts with identity. This is where success becomes inevitable. Not when the world changes, but when your behavior becomes too aligned with success to fail. In the final block, I'm going to show you how to tie all of this together with a commitment framework that guarantees you stay on the path even when motivation disappears. Are you ready to lock in your next level? Let's bring everything together. If you've come this far, it means one thing. You're done with average. You're done with feeling stuck. Done with waiting for someday. Done with pretending that your future will magically improve while your habits stay the same. So I'm going to give you something right now that I've shared with Fortune 500 executives, high-performing entrepreneurs, and everyday people who decided that playing small was no longer acceptable. It's a simple commitment framework, one that makes success not just possible, but inevitable. Step 1, define your non-negotiables. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. You need to define the 3 to 5 actions that are so powerful, so foundational, that doing them daily guarantees forward motion. These become your non-negotiables. Maybe it's your daily income task. Maybe it's your wealth building hour. Maybe it's tracking your money. Maybe it's rehearsing your identity. Write them down, not in your head, on paper. What's written becomes real. Step 2, assign a time, not just a task. Don't just say, I'll do it. That's hope. Say when you'll do it. That's structure. If it's not on the calendar, it's not real. You can't rely on motivation. You need mechanics. Schedule the behavior. Protect it like your future is locked inside it, because it is. Step 3, create a 7-day execution sprint. Tell yourself, for the next 7 days, I don't miss. No excuses. No drama. No negotiation. This is not forever. It's just a sprint. But that sprint becomes the seed of your next identity. And once you complete it, do it again. And again, until the habit becomes who you are, because consistency isn't hard when it's tied to a vision you respect. Step 4, anchor your environment. Your environment is either helping you or hurting you. So build cues around you, a note on your mirror, you are the architect of your income. A phone wallpaper that reminds you, wealth is scheduled. A friend you check in with weekly, accountability creates clarity. Stop trying to be disciplined in a world full of distractions. Build a world where discipline happens without effort. Step 5, speak it. Claim it. Own it. Say this out loud, not in your head, but with your voice. I no longer act like someone who wants to succeed. I act like someone who is already succeeding. This is your line in the sand. You're not watching this for entertainment. You're here because something inside you knows you were meant for more. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Money doesn't change people. It reveals who they already are. If you build habits that make you consistent, strategic, focused, and bold, money will show up not as a reward, but as a reflection. You don't get paid for desire. You get paid for execution. You don't win because you're smarter. You win because you're trained. So get trained, pick a habit, anchor it, honor it, and then let that habit turn into your system. Let that system create your results, and let those results remind you, wealth was never a dream. It was a decision. Now, if this message spoke to something inside you, I want you to do 2 things right now. Leave a comment below with the habit you're committing to today, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Subscribe to this channel and turn notifications on, because this is just the beginning. The next video will show you how to scale these habits into a full system that runs without you. This is not the end. This is your ignition point. Let's build something unstoppable together.